Ο Γιάνης Βαρουφάκης τώρα, σε συνέντευξή του στο CNN, παραδέχθηκε ότι έγιναν λάθη κατά τη διάρκεια των 5 μηνών διαπραγματεύσεων και επιβεβαίωσε ότι υπήρχε σχέδιο Β, το οποίο επεξεργάστηκε το Υπουργείο Οικονομικών με γνώση του Έλληνα Πρωθυπουργού.
We made mistakes, there's no doubt about that, and I hold myself responsible for a number of them. But the truth of the matter, Christian, is that a very powerful troika of creditors were not interested in coming to a sensible, honorable, mutually beneficial agreement. It's not true we did not have a plan B. We had a plan B. We, in the Ministry of Finance, developed it under the aegis of the Prime Minister, who ordered us to do this, even before we came into the Ministry of Finance. Of course, you realize that these plans, Plan Bs, are always, by definition, highly imperfect, because they have to be kept within a very small circle of people. Otherwise, if they leak, a self-fulfilling prophecy emerges. The problem was that once our banks were shut, the government decided not to put into effect this Plan B. And the Plan B would, make no mistake, this was not a plan for getting Greece out of the euro, but it was a plan for creating euro-denominated liquidity in order to give us more degrees of freedom and more bargaining power once our banks were shut down. The fact of the matter is that that Plan B was not energized. I didn't get the green light to effect it, to push the button if you want. And if you want, one of the main reasons why I resigned was precisely that.
Can I ask you a final question? Because just as we think a bailout is coming to rescue Greece, people are still talking about a Grexit, including, and perhaps especially, the Germans. Now, both Merkel and her finance minister are, you know, that word is still in the atmosphere. Do you think that will happen, and will that be best for Greece?
Well, no fragmentation of the Eurozone, no Grexit can ever be good for Europe. And if it can't be good for Europe, it can't be for Greece. There is no doubt that Dr. Schäuble has his sights set on a Grexit. It's part of his strategy. I've written articles about this. He's told me so. I've discussed it with him. I'm not so sure about Chancellor Merkel. But the main point to remember is that Europe has brought itself to a great deal of disrepute. Think about it, Christian. We have a Greek government which is coming to the Greek parliament and is saying to the parliamentarians, to its own parliamentarians, here's a plan. Here is an agreement. We don't believe in it, but we will try to implement it to stay in power. And at the same time, Dr. Schäuble and Mrs. Merkel go to the Bundestag, the federal parliament in Berlin, and they say, here is a deal for Greece. We don't believe in it. We don't think it's going to work. What has Europe done to itself?